Sometimes you just come across a video and say to yourself, everyone needs to pay attention to this. Please watch this for the next 3 minutes and let me know what you think in the comments.
The final goal is to eradicate humanity as we know it. Once you understand the final destination, it becomes much easier to look back and identify the psychological conditioning, the biological tampering, the cultural grooming, and the educational prepping that we have been subjected to for decades in preparation to making us accept a post-human future.
Yep.
It takes a lot of physical and psychological abuse to get an intelligent species like ours to agree to its own extinction. Most, if not all, that has transcended in the last 60 years was designed to get us closer to accepting such a dystopian reality. Whether you care to accept it or not, we live in a hyper-controlled matrix where our perception of reality is meticulously planned, managed, and executed in order to control and steer us in whichever direction they wish.
Yep, and that's simply done through legislation, rules, regulations. And if you know anything about Keir Starmer, Davos, the World Economic Forum, digital ID, digital currency, geofencing, geo-tracking, artificial intelligence and robotics, you will understand exactly what she's saying. If you don't, I suggest you start educating yourself, because no, the World Economic Forum is not a conspiracy theory. They have a webpage. You can read it.
And the direction is a post-human world. For this, they first needed to destabilize, dehumanize, and demoralize humanity through every means possible. The destruction of the nuclear family, children being indoctrinated by the state, abortion, the eradication of God and spirituality from education, life in megacities and away from nature, toxic food, air and water, social media, replacing real human connection and interaction, engineered financial crisis and taxation, endless
division,
wars and massive migration, stress, anxiety, depression, drugs and alcohol, constant fear-mongering.
Which is exactly what we've seen in the past 2 weeks. Perfect fear-mongering. Fear-mongering about a non-existent entity, going to cities, getting other entities to come out to meet it, pitching people in society against each other. If you can't see this stuff, you need to wake up.
Moral relativism as the new religion.
Yep.
And I could go on and on about how humanity has been influenced and forced to move away from all the things that give us strength, security, purpose, and meaning. A weak, immoral, disconnected, ignorant, and unhealthy population is an easy target for the next stage, the creation of an entire generation of androgynous beings.
And this has been spoken about by many academics. Elon Musk has talked about this because obviously of his artificial intelligence developments he's doing, his robotics. They are all talking about it. And the people that aren't listening are going to be the ones that are going to get a big, big shock. I've been listening. I deal with artificial intelligence. I know a lot about it. I actually have got 3 seminars coming up on it where I'm going to give a 1.5 hour talk at each of them about AI, about how it's going to change education, about what's coming. And trust me, there is a bigger level to it than that.
Masculinity is under attack psychologically, culturally, and biologically. Women are being replaced in sports, entertainment, and politics by men pretending to be women. And children are being indoctrinated at school to think that gender is a choice. The transgender movement is not a grassroots movement. It comes from the top.
Manufactured.
It has nothing to do with people's freedom of expression, sexuality, or civil rights. It's an evil psyop with a clear agenda to get us closer to transhumanism by making us question the most fundamental notion of human identity, our gender.
As I've always said, artificial intelligence is not a bad thing. Digital ID is not a bad thing. Central bank digital currency is not a bad thing if it's being run by the right people. And I think we can establish in society our leaders aren't necessarily the right people, are they?